So I struggle a lot with not being diplomatic, and I'm very blunt, and I'll just say what I mean, and I don't know how to say things properly. So how would you go about fixing that?
Well, so actually that's not a bad thing. Being deliberate is a really good thing. Some people will hide all of their thoughts and emotions, and then they carry all kinds of bad feelings with them all the time. It's good to be able to speak your mind, but you are right. You have to be able to do it in a way that's kind, you know, and that shows that you actually value the other person.
So how do you get from being, well, when I was younger, I was very blunt, and I just said what I thought, and I didn't have any filter at all. And then I tried to fix that. So when I was trying to fix that, what happened was I made it worse, because then I became passive, and then I didn't say anything at all.
Okay, so, yeah, because passive isn't very good.
No.
Because then you're thinking all kinds of bad things anyway, right?
Right.
And it's eating you up, and you're feeling like you're not understood.
So I want to change my thoughts, but I don't know what to think instead.
So this is getting you into trouble, right, in your relationship. So this is why you're bringing this up. So what kind of trouble does this cause? Like, does it cause trouble with your friends, with your husband, with your children? What kind of trouble is this causing?
Generally, like if I want to make girlfriends or whatever, it's hard with that, because boys aren't as emotional, and so they don't care as much about what I say. It can get me in trouble, but they kind of more understand it, whereas girls would be,
they kind of take it personally.
Yeah, because they don't know I'm not trying to say it like that, but they will take it personally.
Okay, so is this you correcting them when you see something? Or what are you seeing when you speak like that? I guess I'm trying to figure out a situation where this would occur.
Ooh, that's a good question. It could be either. I could just be commenting. Generally I'm more judgmental and selfish, so I probably would just be commenting on something and just think it's okay to comment.
Like, oh, that wasn't spelled right in that email you sent me. Or
right.
Something like that.
Oh, you should do it like this instead. So it's probably a judgmental, but I'm trying to be helpful. So in my heart, I care about them and I want them to change it so they can be helped, but I come across as being judgmental.
Okay, that's interesting. So here's the thing. When you're talking to somebody and you're going to give them some sort of a piece of criticism or correction or advice, and this goes even if it's your child, you actually need to be appreciating them in the moment that you're offering that piece of advice or correcting them.
So how do
I'm having gratitude for them. So in that moment when you're saying, oh, I really feel like it could be helpful for me to give this, to say this or whatever it is, that you would be thinking, oh, I'm so grateful for you, but I want to share this with you, and that even if you say it very pointed, very matter-of-factly, which happens to be your way, and actually assertiveness is great, so long as it's done with love. Right? So you being grateful for them will come through in the way that it's presented, in just the feeling that you have when you're with them.
Okay, so I know I've heard you say that often. I've heard you say that you should disconnect from the situation. So for example, with my child, if I decided I'm starting to get worked up and I can't get myself calm, but I want to get myself calm, and so I'll send myself in my room or whatever, and I'll say, okay, I need to get calm, and I go to my room, and I know that you said that you shouldn't, with your thoughts in your room, obviously you shouldn't be thinking, oh, I could be doing that, I could kick him, or I could not let
you don't want to be planning out what you wish you could do in that emotional
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking, well, how do I know I can pray, and I know I can sing a song, and so that I'm calm and I have the Spirit or whatever with me, but how do where I'm still missing a step in there of what I need to do. Like, how do I need to...
So you're saying disconnect, but you don't want to feel like you're really distant from them. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so when I did foster care for all the years that I did, they would attack me, like literally attack me with their words, sometimes even with their bodies. I had to be able to help them. I had to be able to advocate for them. And that was the thing I thought all the time. I have to be their advocate. So everything I did came from a place of advocacy. And the way that I found that I could advocate for them was I could disconnect from whatever behavior they were having. then I would appreciate them or have gratitude for them and then reconnect to their hearts so that they could feel my trust for their goodness. And then I would correct them, and they knew all the words that I was saying, because you know how I do corrections. But I would do corrections, or I would seek to understand them, whatever I felt like they needed right in that moment. Usually it was a correction. But I could disconnect in the right way so that I didn't take anything personally and didn't have to listen to any of the abuse or feel it as abuse, and then reconnect in a way where I was being the person who was going to lead them then out of this.
Now, in order to do that, what thoughts are you thinking in your head at the moment when that happens? What are you thinking about them?
Do you know, the first thing I do is I assess. So the first thing I do is I say, okay, so right now their eyes are getting really narrow, they're getting really fiery, I can feel that, they're yelling things at me, and so then at that point I say, okay, so that's their behavior. Then I think to myself, oh, I love them. And then that's when that love comes back to them. And I think, I love them. I want to just send my heart's love to their heart, and at the same time appeal to their logic by describing what they're doing and what they should be doing. And you might have noticed there, did you notice how my even tone of my words just slightly altered? Just me discussing it with you?
About it.
Yeah. Because essentially I just kind of did it with you, where I was, even though we didn't have this, you know, any kind of a problem.
Disconnected a little bit, and you're trying to help.
Disconnected a little bit, assessed, loved, reconnected, and was very assertive.